I know we ain't talked in a minute, but what is time? Living in the thoughts and the visions, but between the lines, yeah. I can't even talk with the visions there in my mind. Cause every time I fall, I can feel you there by my side, yeah. So show me the way and I'll follow you. Show me the way, cause that's all I do. Take the leap of faith and I'll dive into my diamonds. I'm finding it still fine light inside of you. Tell me that you want me, baby. That ice cold stare, I just wanna know you better. From 1 to 3, got me looking everywhere for you. Count the stars, you are my sun. Underneath my skin, feel my bones are creeping in. I don't want this love to end. Underneath my skin, when I look into your eyes, see the miracle of life shining underneath your skin. Wake up in the morning to get a touch from your arm. No regrets, I can't forget the scent you had on. Fingernails, they tell the tales of sex, but you're gone. Now I wonder what's coming next in this song. So show me the way and I'll follow you. Show me the way, cause that's all I do. Take the leap of faith and I'll dive into my diamonds. I'm finding it still fine light inside of you. Tell me that you want me, baby. That ice cold stare, I just wanna know you better. From 1 to 3, got me looking everywhere for you. Count the stars, you are my sun. Oh, underneath my skin, I don't want this love to end. Underneath my skin, when I look into your eyes, see the miracle of life shining. Underneath your skin. Underneath your skin.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Boise State Esports broadcast. I'm your host, Jacob Gem Mountain Comer, and we are coming to you from the Game Pants Esports Arena in downtown Boise. Tonight, we have 3 matches against an old rival for Boise State Esports, UNLV, starting out in Rocket League, then moving to League of Legends, and finally Overwatch. We've got so much coming up for you tonight, and joining me on the desk right now, I've got a familiar face, Adam Cheesy McGuire, as well as Peyton Waiton, who we're going to refer to you as Waiton. And the main thing I'm thinking about tonight to throw to you two is, first off, we've got a ton of momentum starting out with Rocket League. You were here last night at Shizu, and Boise State, the Rocket League team, was just, as you said, was disrespectful against the other teams.
Absolutely.
And what better team to take it into all that momentum than UNLV, a rival?
Well, first off, Waiton was there as well. He was actually on the desk, so good job. Congratulations last night. A great series of games that you guys played. And yeah, absolutely disrespectful, whether it was the A team, B team, whatever team you wanted to go with. Boise State University looked absolutely flawless. And you mentioned this rivalry with UNLV. Now, this is a little bit before your time, Waiton, but roughly a millennia ago, this school got a hold of us and said, hey, we want to do this Mountain West Esports Challenge. 3 games, 1 location, what do you think? And that is actually now what is kind of referred to as the Mountain West Esports Conference. And the only school that we played that first year was UNLV, and it was a knockdown drag amount of epic proportions. UNLV walking away with the League of Legends portion as well as the Overwatch portion. Boise State absolutely demolished in the Rocket League portion. So I'm curious to see over the last 2 years how these 2 schools have grown and adapted over the, again, like I said, 2-year time that it has been.
Right, yeah, it's anything can happen even in just the span of a semester. Like, we've seen teams, like, maybe they get a couple new freshmen and it's just like maybe they lost, they got destroyed 1 year, and then the next year it's just like a complete blowout the other direction. So it's really anything can happen.
Absolutely. And you said you were able to get kind of, again, being on the team and stuff like that, a little bit of background in that, you know, the confidence today is at an all-time high. They definitely have been in this place before. They know how this team works, or at least to have a general idea. Kind of elaborate on that for us for a little bit.
Yeah, so like we saw yesterday, they had they're still undefeated in NACE, so they're coming off high on that. They're really excited, still really confident on that. And they did play UNLV last semester, and I heard that they did beat them pretty well, but still, anything can happen.
So, like I was saying, Jim Mountain, it really hasn't changed over the last handful of years. Boise State just does feel really, confident. And we're going straight into this. This is amazing. Boise State is going to be running, of course, Cosmo, Buster, Ace Pocket, and LC Coro. And as far as, looks like UNLV is going to be Tickle Me Games, and I've tried to get the rest of the names here. Sorry about that. Tickle Me Games, Unlovability, as well as Shoe Bill on the side of UNLV. Cosmo Buster, hot, heavy, within the first 30 seconds, finds himself a goal and did that all by his lonesome. Look at this play right over the top of UNLV and finds nothing but net.
We were talking about momentum, Boise State coming in here ready to go, but wow, not even 20 seconds in, they've got one on the goal.
That seems to kind of be the Boise State special. Within the first 60 seconds, you can kind of tell how the match is going to unfold. And right then and there, I mean, you're seeing immediate plays on both sides. Boise still has a defensive prowess as well as an offensive prowess, although it looks like Ace Pocket going to have to knock this one out for the Boise State crew.
Yeah, I'm seeing the Cosmo Buster, especially on that last play, what I noticed, it was just a solo play. He's not usually one to do solo plays, but he's got 3 really strong individual touches. And if he can continue to do that, maybe that's going to be his style of game for this series.
Yeah, you never know, especially when it comes to him. We were definitely seeing a lot of off-the-wall plays, a lot of long balls, a lot of awesome one-timers last night as Cosmo was passing it usually to Ace, but it looks like UNLV, with an attempt right there, going to be stuffed as LC is going to put this up against the wall. Boise State loves this kind of a setup, but there's not really anybody there. Cosmo putting it out, and it looks like Ace has an open net, but what a move there from Morgan. LC Coro to stop it, but 5-1N going to push that one out as well. Boise State is going to continue to shoot. They are relentless, but UNLV is unstoppable. They're a giant wall in front of that net.
It's 2 last-second saves from UNLV. They seem to be making pretty good mechanical defense, but a little bit of double commits here, but so far that hasn't cost them yet. If Boise State can take advantage of that, then they should be able to take this first game pretty easily.
They've been on the attack pretty much the entirety of this game with just a few quick moves back to having to stop UNLV as Cosmo's going to push this one forward. Morgan to return the favor. Ace Pocket and LC Coro kind of trying to corral this one here as Cosmo's going to be the one to push it out. But Boise State has really been on the attack the entire time and have had less, I guess we'll say, instances. There's another shot on goal, but turned away by 5-1 and question mark. What it was getting at is that they have these really easy shots, but it looks like UNLV is doing such a good job of tracking this ball and getting an individual into the spot that they need.
Yeah, right. It seems like, at least so far, I'm seeing Boise State, they're putting on some passing plays. And there we go. There's another one. A pass from LC Coro just off the backboard right to Ace Pocket. He's able to finish it off. This was great. Excellent team play.
And then watch right here as a demolition opens that net wide open for Boise State University, taking a second point here with 2:47 remaining. Just looking super solid all around at this time. It could be more of the same, as Boise State is known to kind of have a favorable matchup with this school, but there is still plenty of time and many more rounds to go, as it looks like UNLV will get their first real shot on attack, and they are going to find a net there left-hand side. Morgan just kind of rolls it all in.
You know, this happens a lot. You see all three players on Boise State all on the same side of the field. Morgan notices that, just puts it far post and knows it's wide open, just puts it right in.
So there is a stabilizing goal for UNLV, showing they still have a little bit of fight in them. They could easily tie this up in the next handful of seconds, as well as the 50-50 goes in favor of, it appears, BSU. 5-1N going to push that out, as it was a pretty good push on the goal. Ace Pocket with a shot is turned away by Tickle Me Gaines, and like you said there, Wayne, a great setup from Boise State University.
Yeah, if they can continue to put on passing plays like that, that passing play they did, even though it got saved, it forced a triple commit, and I'm surprised they didn't get to take advantage of it. Perhaps the clear was just good enough, barely, to get it out of Boise State's hands, but usually they're able to capitalize on things like that.
And the one-timers from Boise State are just super solid, on point, as well as multiple attacks. Cosmo Buster there stopping one on his goal, and I'm very interested to see if this aggression continues on. Wide open net as Tickle Me Gaines is going to knock that in. Morgan with the sick play there, going to break some ankles and open up the net for his team.
We just saw the last defender on Boise State barely not getting back in time. Tickle Me Gaines putting it near post. Very smart of him to place it on that side of the goal.
Got ourselves an even game here, 2-2 to score, just under 2 minutes, as Boise State has 2 unanswered goals against them now. They were in the lead in the early parts, and now it is starting to fall apart. Cosmo Buster able to stop this, but is demolished in the process. LC Coro going to get a little aerial here as Ace Pocket looks to put it on net. Isn't even going to be able to get a touch here, as Cosmo is going to be forced to go one-on-one here with 5-1 and question mark, but Ace Pocket pushes it out, and Cosmo will return the favor.
Yeah, I'm seeing that they're on defense, at least from this last kickoff, for quite a bit, but look at this. They're starting a counterattack. They might score off of this. Yeah, those counterattacks from Boise State can be so dangerous, because UNLV, I think their strategy is they know their mechanics aren't quite as developed as Boise State, so they're just going to try and play aggressive and just go all out when they're on offense and hope for the best.
Great touch there from Ace Pocket, puts the ball on net, but is easily turned away there by UNLV. And Boise State now a little bit more on the attack, going to fall back here as ball lands in more of a neutral position, as it looks like Morgan pushes that out. A little steal of the boost right there from UNLV. It's possible we could be seeing extra minutes here with 60 seconds left to go. A tie game here as Ace Pocket looks to make a move, but is turned away there by Gaines, and Ace Pocket going to deliver a destruction there to Morgan as well. LC Coro trying to put this up across in front of the net. Ace Pocket going to put it in a dangerous position, but Gaines is going to knock it right out.
I'm really impressed with how UNLV is playing right now. They're playing really collected for the most part. A few double commits here and there, but like they're not really. It's better to have a double commit than have no one go, and they really haven't had any mistakes where they're just 2 people sitting back and no one going for it, so they're doing a good job of that.
Well, they prevented a goal for nearly, 3.5, 4 minutes at this point, which is a great, response to how we saw this game start into the first handful of minutes. So last 15 going to tick here. Can Boise State do what Boise State does and find a miracle goal in the last handful of seconds, or will UNLV knock in one more to end this series? We could be seeing some overtime as the final seconds on the clock start to dwindle, and it looks like the ball is aerial, open shot, overtime as the ball touches the ground, and Boise State may have just been saved by those last few seconds.
Yeah, I think the last defender of Boise State might have been able to get there, but definitely the heart's pounding there. That was really close call. So
super scary situation. Tickle Me Gaines going to take out LC Coro here as Boise State is on the defense. This is a golden goal situation. First one to get a point wins the round. And again, we are doing best of 5, so still plenty of games to go as LC tosses this over to Cosmo, but it is found by UNLV. Open net left side. Ace Pocket with the win.
Very nice passing play from LC Coro over to, yeah, he tried to put it off the backboard. Both defenders, that's a defensive mistake from UNLV, and Ace Pocket luckily there to capitalize on it.
This is where we see Boise State really shining through when they get those rotations down and are able to follow up the plays that they set up for each other. That's something that you actually take for granted when you're watching this team for enough times. You almost expect when the ball is laid up in front of the goal, you're just subconsciously waiting to see someone come out of the corner and just drive it in. But when they aren't able to get those down, that's where we see them struggle. Like you said, Wade, the first goal that UNLV scored was when all the Broncos were bunched up on that one side of the arena. So if UNLV can manipulate those positions better, steal some boost to take some utility away from Boise, they certainly have some fight in them.
Yeah, I think they definitely did a good job of taking advantage of their mistakes there. Boise State, I was seeing a lot more mistakes than I usually do as far as especially on offense. Usually they're looking for more passes, but they were trying to go for a little bit more solo plays there. But yeah, I think for the next game, if Boise State can really keep up those passes, this game will they'll have a much more comfortable lead by the end of the game.
Oh, absolutely, and again, this is a team that they do know quite a bit about. We saw some players up front, but it looks like we did have some roster changes last minute there. Tickle Me Gaines was all over the place, and then as far as Boise State was concerned, each and every one of the players having their hand in some kind of play, some kind of score. It started with Cosmo in the first handful of seconds, Ace Pocket closing out the game, and of course, Elsie Coral was just all over the place as far as defensively speaking was concerned. So I'm curious to see what Game 2 holds, but I do have a lot of faith in Boise State if that was any kind of telling sign. It looks like Boise's got UNLV's number, at least a little bit, because those two unanswered goals were very well fought by UNLV.
Absolutely.
We jump here into game number 2. First handful of seconds, nothing too crazy. It looks like Cosmo might be setting this up for Ace Pocket, but it goes a little too far to the right, not quite where they were looking to go as Cosmo peels back for the big boost as Ace Pocket going to stuff UNLV right there as Morgan is going to be stopped in their tracks. Cosmo up on the wall, trying to get as much distance as he can as Elsie Coral going to clear that one out. Looking to set this up, unfortunately gets popped over by Tickle Me Gaines. That's actually on goal, could go in, but wow, last second there. Looks like Cosmo was able to just bop it out, but Morgan gonna follow it up from the right side. It goes in, first point to UNLV.
That was a very nice passing play from UNLV, 5 inches. He could have put it on far post, but instead he passes it across to Morgan. Knew it would be much easier for a passing play rather than just putting it right on net. That was very smart.
And a great open situation for UNLV. Gets Boise State kind of rocking left to right, and then strikes from that right-hand side.
Yep.
So leaving the net open is just an unfortunate process of the game, especially when you're forced to make defensive plays as Boise State now, again, we're taking a look at Cosmo Buster here. He's going to try to stop this as it comes up and over, but Ace Pocket is there. No one able to get a second touch on that as far as a favorable push is concerned. So Boise State will have an opportunity to recollect, possibly even counterattack here as Ace Pocket is going to put this on net off of the backboard, but 5-1 and puts it right in the hands of Cosmo, who can't quite get it in. Ace Pocket not going to be able to follow it up, and Morgan is going to be accredited with that save. Boise State with 2 shots on goal, turned away immediately, but look at this from the far end. Elsie Coro to push the Cosmo Buster shot in at the last second.
UNLV just getting too aggressive there. Cosmo beat the UNLV player to the ball, and it was just a counterattack there. Elsie Coro easily finishing it off.
And what did we see on the split push? Even though they didn't get the goal, I was counting down in my head, someone's going to come out the side of the screen in 3, 2, and right there.
There, yeah. It's just the way that Boise State definitely likes to play, finding themselves an equalizer here with 3:30 left to go. Demolition there as Cosmo is taken out by Morgan. A shot on goal, easily turned away there by Elsie Coro. Going to continue his attack and his push on net here as it is up and to the right. Pushed out at a little bit of a weird angle, but Cosmo is able to stall that here in the center as the rest of Boise State will head back to the defensive end, allowing for UNLV to maybe get a move or two here, but Elsie is going to staunch that almost immediately as Morgan continues the pressure here. 5N is going to find a shot, and what a beautiful touch there. Morgan with the assist. Let's take a look at this one again.
Yeah, Elsie Coro just ran out of boost. If he had a little bit more boost, or if Ace Pocket had pushed a tiny bit earlier, then he probably would have been able to make that save.
But just a matter of seconds was what separates that ball from going in and counting, or just being booted out by Boise State. So UNLV takes their first lead of the series at 2-1 with 3 minutes left to go. Still plenty of time, and we have seen Boise State put quite a few points on the board unanswered. So Elsie Coro was looking for the shot, is not going to find it. Cosmo with a second attempt. Ace Pocket now is going to be be denied as well as the rest of Boise State. LC Coral pushing this forward. Tickle Me Gaines with a long shot is going to be stopped there by Cosmo Buster. Ace Pocket with a touch, going to send this to the right-hand side, reorient himself and pick up some boost as he is out. He gets the big one there, so he's got a full tank at this point. Cosmo is the defender here, and it looks like, oh, unfortunately, Tickle Me Gaines just went soaring right past that. Cosmo with a nice flick over to LC, into Ace Pocket. What a beautiful play!
That was
what a gorgeous play!
Perfect three-man passing play. Cosmo Buster flicking that over one defender. LC Kuro touches it mid for Ace Pocket, and he just finishes it right off. And Cosmo Buster gets the demo to finish it off, too. That was perfect.
Does it get any more perfect than that?
Not much. That was just such a textbook play, perfectly executed from every Boise State player.
UNLV lets that one by with Boise State's amazing setup there. That will tie this game. A shot on goal is far to the right. But Boise State's still looking for a third. A shot on goal here turned away by Tickle Me Gaines. And Boise State is not going to relent, man. Another push there from BSU as LC Coro and Cosmo fall back. Boost stolen there by UNLV, but Cosmo is okay to push this out as Cosmo is known to do such a thing as LC Coro going to push this here on the right-hand side and try to get something going, but UNLV is right there. The rest of Boise State should be able to stop this, but a scary play there is put in front of the net. Ace Pocket is able to clear that out with the help of LC Coro. LC now just going to dribble this a little over, flip it towards the neutral area, and let Cosmo kind of get a touch there over to Ace Pocket. This ball is actually on goal. This could go in as 5-1 is going to knock it out of the box there. Kind of a scary play there for Boise State.
Yeah, it was a little bit. I'm seeing like Boise State doing a good job of putting on a lot of pressure, but it seems like in the moments where they're needed most, they just barely don't have enough boost for it. Like they can't get in time, or they can't go up for that aerial high enough to reach it. So if they can collect the mini pads, really use their boost efficiently enough, then they can score a lot more goals here.
Looks like 5N going to carry this one through, and it went around. Cosmo is there to stop the second possible touch. LC Coro going to push this through too. Nice little carry there from 5N, but is not going to get anything here. Final 60 seconds. Could be seeing yet another round of overtime, but it is possible within the next 60 that somebody finds it. A shot there is turned away by Cosmo Buster. Not entirely sure it would have gone in, but it was a scary angle nonetheless. LC Coro here is able to track down this one and possibly make a move here for his team. He's just going to push it down. It looks like UNLV is right there to field it. A shot on goal is turned away. Tickle Me Gaines is not going to find it. LC Coro destroys him shortly after that shot, and now Boise State will start their counterattack here. Coming up on the left-hand side, looks like they will instead fall back and make sure UNLV can't get another goal here within the next 20 some odd seconds, but a challenge here is going to go in favor of Boise State University. Ace Pocket to LC is turned away by Morgan as it looked beautiful there, but unfortunately Morgan in the area. 5-1 is there as well, and a great save, game-saving save there. LC Coro looking to get the final seconds and one more goal here as UNLV has an open net, and they score 5-1 and question mark going to pick up this game for UNLV.
Boise State just getting too eager for that goal. They wanted to be in the position where they have one goal lead with just a couple seconds left, but it instead backfires and ends up going the other way.
So we got ourselves an even series here unless Boise State has a miracle shot. We have seen it, but it has been few and far between, and it does not look like this will be the situation. UNLV picking up their first win of the series.
That was an incredible job of UNLV at the end of that game, staying calm, not double committing on defense, and they ended up getting that counterattack that they were looking for.
Yeah, and again, Boise State looked really good there, and it was just one small mistake that led to a giant punish, and that is how this all unfolded for the BSU crew. But congratulations, UNLV. They picked up a win here. That means one aside, and we've got more Rocket League in the future.
Yeah, it's definitely very entertaining the more games that we get. We're seeing still some of the great plays and skills we saw from BSU yesterday, but UNLV also came to play. And you got to think about this from their perspective. This was the one blemish on their perfect record in that first Mountain West showdown. So they're looking for revenge here. And if this is the way that they can afterwards take back their title and show that they're still one of the dominant forces in the Mountain West, they're going to take that opportunity. We're seeing that today.
Absolutely. And these are some of the replays that we are seeing. Boise State definitely has a lot of prowess this time around. And we're going to take a look here as Cosmo's just going to set this one in off the top of the backboard, followed up with Ace Pocket, and turned away by Morgan. And that was pretty much the entirety of Game 1 and Game 2. Boise State with a ton of shots, and UNLV with just miraculous plays. You see LC Kuro getting the long ball there and pushing that one in, but the beginning part of that replay is something to kind of pay attention to.
It's almost ironic because in a very similar way, that was the goal that sealed it against Boise State later.
And it looked exactly like that, and here we'll see the most beautiful play in Boise State history. Cosmo to LC to ace, as Cosmo destroys the only individual in the way, leading to Boise State finding that point there. So again, that was probably one of the most textbook situations I've ever seen, and it looks like we're jumping directly into game number 3 here. Again, Boise State versus UNLV, and so far it is one game aside in this best of 5. And wait, what does Boise State need to do this time around to really flesh out the issues that they had in the last game?
The main thing I noticed from last game is that they were just really slow to aerials. Usually they play so much faster in the air, but they were just like playing a little sloppy, not using their boost efficiently. If they can really take care of their aerial game, make it much more faster, then they'll definitely do a lot better.
And what I want to see from UNLV is this continued aggression after the counterattack. Oh, that might be a shot on goal, but Cosmo is not going to find it. I want UNLV to continue to find these backdoor maneuvers, if you will, the way that they closed out the last game, the long balls. Let Boise State continue to put pressure and then find them when they're at their weakest. We were talking about boost management. We were talking about the aerial plays. UNLV can run away with this if they get the opportunity to, but Boise State right now showing that within the first minute and a half, they have actually recollected themselves quite a bit, being on the attack pretty much the entire time.
Right, yeah, Boise State, without a doubt, all 3 games so far, really, definitely the most shots. UNLV has had to make so many saves, as we've already seen, and it's just counterattacks like this. Oh! There's another one right there. The counterattack just from UNLV. Boise State had pressure, had it on the half of the field, an excellent passing play down to Morgan. Cosmo Buster not getting the mechanical touch, and Morgan just finishes off just before LC Kuro could get back in time.
His own alley-oop nonetheless. So UNLV finding the early point here, a minute and a half in. So as I start to praise them, Boise State lets one through as LC Kuro is going to field the 50-50 here. A nice little setup could be a possible shot for Boise State, but instead it looks like UNLV is going to be able to turn this around and continue one of those counterattacks. But LC Kuro with a shot on goal, and another one there from Cosmo Buster. They are just a giant brick wall on the side of UNLV. Nothing doing, nothing going in, and Boise State is just got to be frustrated now at this point, as Tickle Me Gaines has another opportunity to score right there, but Cosmo Buster is able to stop him as the rest of the BSU crew commits right there. Man. A shot on goal is coming over, hits the crossbar, and Morgan is able to tap that in with the assist from 51N.
That was actually a really, it was actually this touch right here, an unfortunate misread off the crossbar. Cosmo Buster, he thought it was going to hit off the backboard. That would have been a very nice read if it did, but unfortunately just right off the crossbar and down into his car.
UNLV finds a second one, and right now it is looking bleak for Boise State University. They were ahead in the early parts of the game, and as each and every round has gone on, we have seen UNLV claw their way forward, and now looks to have a lot of presence here in this third game with their 2-0 lead. Boise State had a lead like this in the second game and ended up losing it. Will the story be the same, or will UNLV continue to hold on? Only the next 2 minutes and 30 seconds will tell us, as Boise State, looking for yet another setup here, is not able to really find anything. Ace Pocket with an aerial commit is not going to really be rewarded, as LC Kuro has to peel back, and it looks like a great shot there from UNLV is just going to be found wanting, as nobody was there to follow with a second touch.
Something Boise State has to take note on is the only time they're getting scored on is from counterattacks. Like, they might even get too aggressive here, all 3 people pushing up, but luckily they were staying collected, not pushing up until one person was behind them.
The ball was so close to rolling in, and everybody wanted to make sure they got that touch, at least the last opportunity to push that one in. But here comes another counterattack from UNLV, as Cosmo Buster is able to field this out, but it looks like 51N is going to get a bumper on that, sending it to the opposite side of the arena, as 51N going to also get a demolition on Cosmo here. Ace Pocket trying his best to kind of corral this, trying to pass it off to Cosmo, but it looks like instead Tickle Me Gaines is going to receive that one. Cosmo with a demo there kind of pays back. Morgan says, look, I can do it too, as Ace Pocket looking to set up LC. Is this one of those situations? He is unfortunately going to miss the ball there and now fall back onto defense. LC and Cosmo clearing this one out and looking to continue the pressure is UNLV. A great steal there from Tickle Me Gaines. And now Boise State is on the counterattack, but are stopped immediately by Morgan, and a demolition there, and an off-the-back bumper. It looks like LC Kuro going to be the savior there, as it looks like another demolition. Morgan going to get one on the board, as Cosmo is going to fall. LC Kuro with a shot, and found it!
excellent pinch from Ace Pocket there. You see him pinch it downwards. If that had gone upwards, that would have given the defense enough time to regroup, but instead it was just enough time for LC Coral to get there, but not for the defense to get back in time.
Absolutely, and so Boise State has a sign of life, a pulse. They are actually showing that this game is far from over. 60 seconds still remain as Boise State would like to find one more and push this into extra minutes. Ace Pocket had a little bit of an opportunity there. Cosmo Buster had a shot, but no! Morgan is going to steal that away and bury it in the back of Boise State's net. Let's see this one again.
Yeah, just a mechanical mistake from Cosmo, and it really cost him. Morgan had complete faith that Cosmo wouldn't touch that, and he was right. He just put it right on net, and it was an easy goal.
That could be the death knell here for Boise State. UNLV looking to pick up their second round here, which would put Boise State at game point. Still plenty of time. We have seen crazier things, but another shot there from Morgan is off the backboard and almost dragged right in there by UNLV. And they are starting to unload as far as UNLV is concerned. Over to Ace Pocket, but is stopped right there by Tickle Me Gaines. Cosmo Buster with the stop is going to dribble this one forward. He's looking to try to push this over.
What a
He
flick.
is going to be able to get that over the top and destroy Morgan there as well, but nobody from Boise State was able to follow that flick up.
Yeah, if they can follow those up, I think just Ace Pocket and LC Coral just didn't have boost there. That was an excellent flick from Cosmo, but unfortunately they weren't able to take advantage of it.
Ace to Cosmo. LC going to find this one. Is he going to get it on goal? It's just off the post on the right-hand side there. And now Boise State may, in fact, be done here in this third round. The last seconds ticking away on the clock. Cosmo to LC. LC trying to put one in before time expires. These are the final seconds, and that is going to be round number 3 in favor of UNLV. They are coming back and with a vengeance.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with UNLV so far. They're playing so well, so collected, so many saves. They definitely have way more saves than Boise State, and yet they also have more goals, which is usually the other way around. Usually the team that has more saves also they have the least goals. They're getting scored on the most as well because they have more shots on them. But it's really surprising how much they're taking advantage of the counterattacks. And the other thing I'm surprised about these games is how many demolitions there are. Like it seems like almost every 30 seconds someone's getting demolished, but yet they're still relatively low-scoring games. But usually when people are going for demolitions, they're playing really aggressive. They have to go out of rotation to get those demolitions, and it's usually like an all-or-nothing play. Either you're going to score or the other team's going to score from a counterattack. But it's still a relatively low-scoring game, so I'm pretty surprised by that.
Well, and the other thing is that Boise State, again, came out hot and heavy in game number 1, and unfortunately has just kind of unraveled at the seams in the last couple of games. We're seeing, again, challenges with no boost. We're seeing missed plays. We're seeing passes not connecting, and it's just kind of a worrying trend here as we jump into game point. Boise State has to win this match or it's over for them today.
That's right, yeah. I'm just really impressed with UNLV, how they're playing so far. In Boise State, they're making a lot of mistakes, and UNLV doing a good job of capitalizing it. If Boise State can minimize those mistakes, especially on offense, then they're going to take game 4 here.
Well, that's been one of the more interesting things is that, again, Boise State has been the aggressor, as you mentioned. Yeah. More shots on goal, and UNLV apparently has some kind of like invisible wall in front of the net because they have had no business blocking some of these shots. As we are jumping in again, Boise State with their backs against the wall needs to pick up this win. A shot on goal coming off the crossbar and a double commit there from UNLV. Means that Boise State can counterattack, and LC Coral pushing that one away from Cosmo. It could have possibly just been drilled right down the center. Maybe a little bit of a miscommunication there, but Cosmo to LC. Morgan going to intercept that one, and another push here off of the right-hand side of the Boise State net as Cosmo and crew are going to be left open, wide open. Is he going to find it? Yes, Cosmo puts the first one on the board for Boise State. We have seen this before, and it has meant great things for the orange and blue.
Finally, we're seeing it happen the other way around. Cosmo Buster taking advantage of the counter-attack instead of UNLV getting it on them.
Yeah, it was a sweet move there from Cosmo and the rest of the crew. Again, I thought maybe they could have scored that earlier. There might have been a little bit of a misplay. Again, we saw LC kind of knock it out of the front bumper of Cosmo. But it looks like Boise State still has a little bit of gusto left and turned away there by Morgan. Cosmo waiting and waiting and waiting. And the second he gets a chance to make a move, he is denied. And it looks like Boise State may have another opportunity here. Cosmo, though, is off picking up some extra boost as Tickle Me Gaines is going to be stopped there by Cosmo. Over to Morgan. and Ace Pocket is going to field this as Cosmo takes out Tickle Me Gaines and then continues the attack here for BSU, stopping UNLV right in their tracks. Tickle Me Gaines going to do exactly the same. LC Coro with a shot on goal, goes a little bit too far left as Cosmo is going to have to reset this for his crew. To the right, LC Coro will be there to field it, looking to set up Ace Pocket, but Morgan is going to carry this up with Tickle Me Gaines. Ace was able to stop the player as Cosmo will continue the movement of the ball off of the roof here, off of the right-hand side, and immediately punted by UNLV. Long ball play here as it comes up and over. Morgan is able to do that. Unbelievable. Let's see that one again as Morgan goes 1v2 and finds the post and is going to find the goal.
Wow, just straight off the ceiling and right in the goal. A little bit lucky from Morgan there, but LC Coro just really not expecting that, and I don't blame him for that. That's rarely ever happens.
Yeah, that's one of those weird rolls, weird bounces, just an unfortunate situation if you're a Boise State player. But we got ourselves a tie game here, very much the case throughout the course of these games, and LC Coro puts that ball in a very scary situation. Unfortunately, UNLV not able to find a second point off of that mistake, but those are the kind of things we're talking about. LC with the net, he's going to hit the crossbar, unfortunately. Cosmo also loving that upper crossbar for the side of Boise State University, just tinking it off of that crossbar and unable to find another goal there. But Boise State still continues their attack. LC tries to get it past Morgan, is not going to be able to do so. Ace Pocket not going to be able to touch that one as Morgan will carry this up for Boise State University. LC Coro, thankfully, in the wings, able to push this out to allow Boise State to regroup and reset. As Ace is going to push this one far left corner, and that will give them a chance to recollect some boost as well as commit here as Cosmo Buster goes on the attack. But we'll peel back to try to boost up a bit. A shot on goal to the right as Cosmo looks to set this one up off of the backboard. Could possibly find another player, but instead it looks like they were off gathering resources and supplies. That's actually a pretty good spot here. Cosmo could stuff this and turn it around with a second touch. It comes off. Is that going to go in? No! Turned away by 51 and at the last second as Cosmo was given a beautiful opportunity there as he will continue to push this on the side of UNLV.
Wow, that's such a hard read on defense. Off that top lip where it meets the ceiling and the wall, it goes straight down to LC Coro. He reads that perfectly and just puts it right in the center of the goal. Very well done.
Boise wants to push this to a Game 5 and finally have a lead to do so, but still 2 minutes, 11 seconds on the clock, and that is plenty of time for UNLV not only to catch up, but to take the lead, and we have seen it multiple times. Ace Pocket with a crafty little carry there over the heads of two of those UNLV members, but it looks like the same situation here as a possible shot on goal. Too much commit there from UNLV. Scary situation averted from the orange and blue. Cosmo Buster looking to set this one up, but spikes it down. It looks like a little bit of bunch ball here as everyone's just kind of hanging out. Ace Pocket is going to jump up, but not going to be able to get a touch on that one. LC Coro going to ground it as Cosmo looks to make a play in the air, is able to do so here. Again, 2-1 in Boise State's favor. A minute 30 still remains here as UNLV with the long ball plays, the ones they've been known for, as well as those counterattacks coming in clutch. And it looks like they're playing a little bit more defensively this time around.
Absolutely. I'm saying I think the biggest difference in Boise State's play style this game is they're not getting too greedy. They made those mistakes, and that's how they lost Game 2 and 3 to UNLV. They were just getting too aggressive on offense, and UNLV was only scoring off of counterattacks, really, and they're really changing that up here.
Yeah, Boise State being a lot more cautious, a lot more headstrong this time around. Ace Pocket going to get a shot on goal, turned away there by 51 and question mark as LC Coro is going to peel back. 60 seconds remaining. They're just looking to hold on to this 1-goal lead for as long as possible. Cosmo is there 2v1. Did get past him, but Ace Pocket should be able to clear this out. It looks like Cosmo will carry this here on the right-hand side. Boise State with the commit. Ace Pocket going to put this one on goal as it looks like he's trying to carry this over. LC Coro was not able to commit on that one. He is forced back as well as Cosmo Buster is going to reset for his team. What a pass to LC Coro! He's gonna sink it as Boise State finds yet another 3-1 here in game number 4.
UNLV just so cluttered, no one quite back in net in a good spot to make the save. LC Coro with an outstanding redirect in the top left corner.
It was just a beautiful start, beginning, middle, and end for that Boise State crew, and they were able to find another one here. So that could be it for game number 4 here. We will see, but a shot here could mean a little bit more than you'd think as LC Coro is going to continue to attack 2v1 as Tickle Me Gaines has a shot on goal, turned away relatively easy there by Cosmo Buster. Ace Pocket just looks to dwindle the last handful of seconds. They are up 2, which is a very comfortable position to be in, especially with the last 10 seconds here. Shot on goal is far right. No real danger imposed from that one. 51 and question mark is going to put that up there for Gaines, but not going to find it. Cosmo just going to spike this one down as the final second here. Boise State has pushed us into a Game 5. That means the most bang for your buck.
Absolutely, yeah. I have to say again, the biggest difference in this game from the previous 3 were that Boise State was not getting too aggressive. They were not too greedy. They were, if they didn't have enough boost, they weren't going to risk it like they were in games 1, 2, and 3. So I think that really played to their advantage here. You saw 2-goal lead. That was their. In the first game that they won, it was overtime. It was close.
Right.
And this was the most commanding win they had yet from this change in playstyle. So I think if they're going to continue to make that playstyle for this next game here, I think they're going to take it.
Absolutely, and Boise State again has bounced back from the beginning. This first setup that we've got here as far as goals are concerned, Ace Pocket tries to stuff it in there, is not able to, and Cosmo is just going to pop this one up, and just kind of a weird drop that you were talking about. LC Coral was able to read it just perfectly, stuffs that one in, and finds the second for Boise State. Kind of explain that for me real quick.
Yeah, so those bounces are extremely hard to read on defense just because you expect it to land normally off the backboard, and when it comes straight down like that, the offense can usually read it easier than the defense. So they really take advantage of that. LC Coro knew that exactly what was happening there, and he just took advantage of it, like I said.
We've seen some really, really, really stylish plays from the Boise State crew. Again, not to kind of, hype up our own, backyard kind of a thing, but we saw a carry from LC Coro that was super crafty. He went past 2 individuals aerially. Looks like we are jumping into game number 5, but I want to see more of the style. I want to see more of the 3-man touches, and I want to see a Boise State victory, especially here for the home crowd, but UNLV has shown they can stop Boise State time and time again, so if you are into the Rocket League scene, this is the game for you, as Boise State is going to survive the first 20 seconds here. UNLV had an opportunity to put one in, and unfortunately it just skirts on by, but this is anyone's game, more or less what I was alluding to.
Yeah, oh man, this could be, Cosmo, again, just running out of boost. That could have, Cosmo is really the god of redirects on Boise State. If you can pass it to him upfield, uncontested, he's going to put that on net almost every single time. But unfortunately, he just didn't have enough boost there to make it happen.
And at the most absurd angles, too. We saw yesterday he was putting him off under the undercarriage, just like that, says, get out of my face, and puts one in for Boise State. We're singing his praises, and it gives us another reason.
Yeah, that was just a really strong 50 from Cosmo Buster, and it just happened to go in the goal. That wasn't his original plan. He was just trying to force it past Morgan there, but it just happened to go in the goal.
He planned that. Come on. that was intended from second one, right? But again, Boise State with the early lead. This has usually led to some good things for the orange and blue, but UNLV has definitely bounced back, especially in game number 2, and even ran it all the way back for the victory. Boise State to Cosmo Buster. He finds it! How did he thread that needle?
UNLV, the last defender, I think it was Morgan, it was Tickle Me Gaines. Yeah, just on defense, had no momentum, backwards to the ball, didn't position himself in the right spot, and wasn't able to finish it off.
Boise State now, it is a best of 7 from my understanding, so things changing from last we spoke, so my apologies there. This is definitely more Rocket League than you had anticipated at this point. Cosmo Buster going to get a demolition there, as it looks like Morgan trying to carry that one is not going to be able to do so.
Yeah, I think this is the first time I'm really seeing the ball on Boise State's half for an extended amount of time, and it was only about 20 seconds there. UNLV just usually they score off a counterattack, so if they can breach the defense of Boise State, then that truly shows them outplaying them. But oh my God, again, Cosmo Buster with the redirect again, a perfect pass from LC Coro, just redirects it right in the goal.
It's just a beautiful wide open net. Says, I will take every inch of that. Morgan commits, is not able to get on the ball, and Cosmo is going to be rewarded. So 3-0, looking pretty good for Boise State University. UNLV still has plenty of time to get back in this one, but we will see if that is in the cards, as these have been relatively tight games as far as the scoring is concerned. And apparently Boise State is just going Super Saiyan here. Off the wall to LC Coro. Ace Pocket not in a favorable position to knock that one in, but a solid play nonetheless. Cosmo going to flick this over the top of UNLV, but is going to be found by 51N, and that is a wide open net. A possible setup here for UNLV, but LC Coro going to push that one out. Thank goodness, as Tickle Me Gaines actually gets a push on that. It looks like LC Coro going to finish up with that one. That's actually a great move there, but it looks like Tickle Me Gaines was there to turn it away. A possible what, 4th goal for Cosmo Buster here? It could have been, but instead it looks like Cosmo going to fall back here to the defensive side of things.
This is absolutely the Boise State we are used to seeing here. They're finally pulling out the passing plays, centering it up, crossing mid, just catching the defense off guard, outplaying them in general, and that's what you're used to seeing, and we're finally seeing it come out here in Game 5.
Yeah, and the rotation seemed to be pretty spot on. Cosmo's playing his most favorable game. It's called Watch Me, I'm going to score. He's already had a couple of goals. His ace pocket does just the same!
Wow, he was just freestyling there. Look at him just twirling his car, gets the first touch. Look at this little twirl
stylish,
here.
Stylish, like I said.
Upside down.
Just so unbelievably stylish. And that was what we were seeing earlier. This time he actually gets it in the net. And again, that was after the praises of the Cosmos. So now all the members of Boise State looking absolutely phenomenal this time around. Everybody getting their touch on the ball here. Boise State looks to be running away with this one. 4-0, the score with 2:15 left. Cosmo trying to squeeze that one in is going to be turned away there, though, by 51N.
This is much more of a game that we saw yesterday for Boise State. They went so many games 4-0, 5-0. We've seen a complete collapse of any defense from UNLV here.
Yeah, and it just looks like Boise State's just catching them off guard. Like UNLV kind of figured out the game plan. They're like, hey, here's what's exactly going on. And then Boise State said, just kidding, here's another goal. It looked like Ace Pocket almost had that one, actually. And from LC Coro's feed, Cosmo going to put this one on net. Oh, it was actually pretty dangerous. Ace Pocket with the second touch is not going to be able to find it. But 51N tries to push that out, but it looks like LC Coro wants to finish this up. Is not going to be able to, as Morgan is going to push that one out. But Cosmo with a shot on goal. 51N still in the net is able to push that one away. Morgan to follow suit. Ace Pocket shot on goal. It hits the left post. It almost went in, but the goal is going to be the best defender UNLV has in that instance, as Cosmo now picking up some extra boost. Ace Pocket able to push this out here on the right-hand side. Just another stellar set of defensive plays there from UNLV.
Boise State is finally finding each other on these passes. They're not throwing the ball like they were previously, and it's really working out for them. This is just a completely dominant game from Boise State. They were never really in any dangerous spots at any point in this game so far. So if they can keep this going, it's going to be a complete blowout for the next game, it seems.
LC pulls it off on the right-hand side, looking to move it in, and he does! Passes through every single member of UNLV. 1, 2, and then a little touch for 3 as Tickle Me Gaines watches that one roll in, and LC Coro is more than okay with that.
But also, what did you see during all those goal attempts? You did not see any overcommittal from Boise State.
That's right.
It's easy as we're seeing it at the ball so close to the goal. Your brain immediately says, oh, go and get it. But no, they've been biding their time, waiting for the moment, and not letting UNLV get any counterattacks.
And again, the stylish plays on all of the players of Boise State have led to those open opportunities. Whether it's great carries, whether it's great passes, whether it's these amazing shots we've been seeing from very obscure directions. Boise State has been on fire this game, or as you were saying last night, and fuego. Ace Pocket here looking to set up. This could be another one for BSU, but it looks like they instead are going to peel back. 5 goals in 20 seconds is a lofty goal, no pun intended here, but it looks like Boise State will be walking away with this match number 5, putting UNLV at match point. Again, this is the best of 7. My apologies for the earlier misinformation, but without a doubt, Boise State running away with this one here. Looks like Cosmo just going to push it out, looking to try to get the skunk here, and is in fact going to do so. The Broncos and Rebels still looking to do as much damage as possible here in the last handful of seconds. Boise State is going to pick that up. The orange and blue looking to close this one out, and one more game will do it.
You know, the UNLV has to be thinking right now, like, where did they go wrong? And I don't think it's much of that as more of how much Boise State improved throughout the game. UNLV's strategy throughout the series, you could tell, was take advantage of their offensive mistakes, score on those counterattacks. But if Boise State's not making any offensive mistakes, that strategy just kind of falls through. So they've really got to change something up with this new play style from Boise State.
And there was that 50-50 you were talking about with Cosmo, that was definitely not intended what he was looking for, but it ends up being a favor from the gods on high. And again, Cosmo was just absolutely on fire this game.
Absolutely. Yeah, he, like, that 50-50 just powered right in. He was trying to win it, and it was just a little gift to him that it just happened to go in the goal
exactly,
as well.
And another great angle there, squeezes it past 2 defenders, and again, UNLV just didn't even have an opportunity to respond to this one. Great setup off of the wall from LC, and Cosmo's just going to bury that one.
Yeah, just UNLV, their defense, they were trying to take advantage of some sort of counterattack there, but unfortunately for them, Boise State they're putting on all the pressure they can, not making mistakes like they were previously.
One-timer special right here again, LC to Cosmo, just right down the pipe. Morgan goes for the 50-50, unable to commit.
Yeah, and one thing we also need to keep in mind is what's going through these teams' minds mentally. We were talking last night about mistakes such as bunch ball, when everyone goes after the ball at once, and what causes that? It can be excitement or it can be tilt. And especially after a game like that, you have to wonder how is UNLV going to steel themselves against potentially tilting.
I have a feeling that UNLV definitely has a strong mental coming into this game right here. Again, they have put Boise State up against the wall more than a handful of times. Yes, a 5-0 blowout kind of hurts, but it's also one of those situations where maybe you're like at the 3-0 point, you're just like, all right, GG next, let's go to the next one kind of thing. As Boise State has a chance here to put one in, is not able to. If they pick up the win here, they will win the series over UNLV, but 51N question mark with a great setup to Morgan. That was a filthy play there and a great one-timer. Watch this one again on the counterattack. 51N going to pass that right over to Morgan, and just a little shuffle past LC Coro means UNLV is the first strike.
That was the play of the series for UNLV so far. They just outplayed, saw there was one man back, and they passed it across extremely hard for LC Coro to read, and he was just helpless as that last man.
And again, we were talking about that mental. I see no issues here with UNLV as far as their ego is concerned. Definitely still playing strong and still playing fast and heavy, as that counterattack strategy that they've been implementing pretty much the entirety of this series comes in clutch once again. Cosmo there with the save. Ace Pocket looking to flick that one farther back, but it looks like he instead is going to reset. And another little carry here from UNLV. A shot on goal's got a little bit of a float to it. Is there anyone there? Morgan is able to squeeze it past. 51N going to be accredited with the assist. And let's take a look at that one again.
You see all three players on Boise State finally getting back to net at that same moment, and no one was pushing. They had all three players trying to make the save. They didn't have enough boost to push, and that's really what cost them there.
So like I said, the mental of UNLV is strong as they take an early commanding lead 2-0 in their favor as the Rebels look to stay alive. The Broncos look to end the series as Cosmo is going to find it there. What a beautiful shovel right there, and Cosmo is more than happy to bury that one.
Such a smart play from Ace Pocket there. He could have tried to put that on net, but instead he lays it right up there for Cosmo Buster. You know there's communication going on in that, and if there was no communication, they definitely would have not made that play.
Well, and LC smashed whoever was in net. There was a defender there, and then they were gone. LC was just in the net saying, hey guys, go ahead. And it was an open opportunity for Boise State University. LC Coro looking to bounce this one off again, kind of the Boise State special off of this right-hand side wall. The long ball again from the Rebels. It's what we've been seeing pretty much all game from these guys. Tickle Me Gain's going to have a little bit of a push here, but Ace Pocket going to follow this up. That one going to Cosmo Buster. A possible touch there as Morgan is able to push that one out. But another solid play there, pass play from Boise State University. Knocking it off the roof and going to do it once again is LC Coro as Tickle Me Gain's going to put it on net. But it looks like Ace Pocket is going to challenge and is going to find the win there.
We're not even 2 minutes into the game yet, and I'm already seeing so many three-man passing plays from Boise State, and it's really working out. They've got so much pressure. Despite the 2 goals from UNLV at the start, Boise State seems to be dominating since those 2 goals, really.
Absolutely, yeah. They're able to kind of recoup themselves and put one on the board as Ace Pocket is going to carry this through. Cosmo with the challenge is going to be turned away. It will mean UNLV should have an opportunity to attack again, but Ace Pocket going to peel on back. And we are seeing just very technical movements from the Boise State crew. And as far as UNLV is concerned, it's not so much that it's not technical as it is just boom it out, find an opening, take advantage of it. And that's kind of the cards they've been dealt, as Boise State has just been absolutely relentless for most of these games, just not letting up any pressure if they can have their way. And that's actually led to some issues just like that, as Morgan is going to find yet another one here in this game.
Yeah, that was another mistake from Boise State. You had 2 people back in net, but no one pushing. LC Coro and Cosmo Buster both back in net. If LC Coro was able to push that earlier and leave Cosmo in net to try and make the save in case he messed up, then they definitely would have been able to stop that.
It looks like the Rebels want to keep playing this game, so they are going to continue to push here. 3-1 in favor of UNLV as the Broncos look to try to close this series out. Still plenty of time to do so, and only a pair separates these 2 teams. As Cosmo is up against the wall, pushing out Tickle Me Gains is also going to pick up the big boost and starve out his opponents just a little bit. Cosmo's going to set this one up for Ace Pocket over to LC Coro. As LC sets this up, is turned away by Morgan. Ace going to put it back on goal. There's nobody there, but it looks like 51N with the fadeaway block is able to stop that beautiful shot from Boise State as Ace Pocket is going to turn it over onto the right-hand side.
Boise State so much pressure, but again, UNLV, their defense so collected right now. They're making all the saves that they can, and it's working out so far. Despite Boise State having most of the pressure in the game, they still have the lead, a pretty good lead, a 2-goal lead. And even though the ball is on their half for most of the game.
And Cosmo with a shot there is not going to find anything, looking for another one. LC actually has got a pretty good situation if he can get this to one of his 2 teammates. And it looks like he is going to pass this over to Ace. Ace going to top it off of the crossbar there. Unfortunate set right there, but Cosmo looks to keep the play alive as LC's going to also peel back, pick up some of these mini boosts, and continue to keep this ball on the BSU aggressive side. But Morgan comes out of nowhere and pushes that one back towards the BSU goal. Cosmo with a carry. He's actually got it above everybody else, but falls right in front of the net and is not able to continue that play here. 60 seconds remain. Boise State needs to find a goal, and they need to find it fast, or the Rebels will be pushing this to a final Game 7 as LC Coro is up and back, is able to turn that one on its side, but it is going to be crossed here. Morgan looking to get a touch, is not able to do so. Ace pocket now over to possibly LC Coro. No, he's going to carry it himself here. We have seen this play go in as LC Coro is not able to get a touch, and the ball just falls right there in the neutral area. Thank goodness for Cosmo Buster being there as Boise State is going to try to reset. They need to get a goal, and they need to find it now, or this round is going to go over to UNLV. A nice flick over the head of LC Coro means UNLV is back on the attack. 22 seconds remain as LC to Cosmo to Ace pocket, but unfortunately it stops in its tracks. Ace not too happy about that one, and unfortunately Morgan is going to carry this one up. Time dwindling down. I believe that as Boise State will be pushed to a Game 7, but a push right here could be the final seconds. This is not going to be enough as the final second ticks down. I thought Boise State might have had some kind of leg to stand on here, but it looks like instead UNLV will find one more goal there. 51 and question mark, sealing the fate there. We're going to a Game 7.
Definitely a commanding win from UNLV. Just finishes it off right there with 0 seconds, just to put the cherry on top of the smoothie or whatever you call it.
Whatever you put cherries on top.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, so it's just UNLV, they really came out that game. They had passing plays, unlike where we saw previously in the series. They really started to earn their goals rather than just scoring them off of counterattacks. So that was really impressive.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what we're going to get here in game number 7. Are we going to see the full-on onslaught aggression of the Boise State team, or are we going to see a long ball kind of play off of the weakness side from the UNLV Rebels? I'm very interested to see how this game 7 unfolds because we have seen all of it from both of these teams.
Yeah, we've had different versions of each team shown tonight here. We've got a Boise State that's making highly technical plays, working off each other, being relentless in its offense. But then again, we've also seen a Boise State being caught off guard when they have a misplay and UNLV just counterattacks. It's who shows up to this final game that's going to decide it.
That's right. Both teams, you can tell, they have great abilities to adapt off each other. The Boise State, they were noticing that they were just getting scored on counterattacks, so they adapted to not be as aggressive on offense. And UNLV, they were noticing that Boise State wasn't making offensive mistakes that last game, so they adjusted by playing more aggressive, and it did end up working out for them. So it's curious to see now that they've figured each other out and their play styles, what's going to happen in this last game.
Well, the other interesting thing about all of this is that neither one of these teams really has, a certain set style now at this point.
Yeah.
Because we are at this Game 7, we have no idea what we are going to see here in the final game. But we are in it, and the Boise State home crew is trying to rally the crew, but it looks like Ace Pocket right here is on the side of the Broncos defenders trying to get this ball cleared out, is not able to. But again, winner take all, and this is a match of the decades, as this is the homegrown rival UNLV Rebels versus the Boise State Broncos. LC Coro with a shot on goal is turned away by 51N, and that counterattack that we were talking about, Ace Pocket going to boot this one back to possibly give Boise State yet another attempt. A shot on goal turned away there by Morgan, as again, it looks like we're just playing a lot of long ball here on both sides of the field. Try to get that ball into a dangerous position, second touch it into the back of the net. It goes over the top of 51N. Boise State could have a little bit of a setup here as Cosmo's going to pick up the big boost, and it looks like 51N going to push this one back out. Ace Pocket going to follow up here as Morgan is going to push this one as well. Ace over to the center, over to Cosmo, and it's going right back over to Ace on that right-hand side as LC Coro is going to push this one forward. Over to Cosmo Buster into the right-hand corner, pick up the big boost there from UNLV. Actually, they're just going to leave it apparently as Ace Pocket is going to push this one onto goal, but it looks like LC continues continues on. Boise State just so aggressive this entire time, and they have an opportunity here, but nobody there to actually commit to that shot. Waiting for UNLV to make a move, it appears, as LC Coro is going to show up here on the left-hand side.
You know, I'm seeing Boise State. They've had it. We're a minute and a half into the game, and the ball has been on UNLV's half for basically the entire time. Oh man! But yet UNLV has. They felt comfortable. They haven't really been in any dangerous spots, despite having so much pressure on them.
Well, and that shot right there could have been the first one for UNLV. Yeah. Barely just goes off of the top of Ace Pocket, and then Cosmo has got an open net. Can he put this one on? It's too far to the left. Cosmo with a second attempt. It's off of the crossbar. Can LC Coro close this out? Is that goal regulation size or what? As Cosmo pushes it off the right-hand side, and again, Boise State continues to push, but UNLV staves off the aggression. Again, another shot here as Ace Pocket to LC. A whole lot of bunch ball. All 6 of the individuals, all 3 from either team, are on this thing, trying to get a favorable advantage. Finally, Cosmo is able to push this out, put a shot on goal, but it is turned away there by Morgan, as Cosmo is going to continue on, crossing it over for his team, hoping to get something there, but Morgan is going to find it. Ace Pocket is going to find the aerial challenge. He will be able to push this away. Shot on goal. There's nobody. Ace Pocket!
Wow. So much pressure from Boise State, and UNLV barely hanging in there until this last moment. Ace Pocket finds the opening and just plops it right on the left side of the goal.
I have got the fever, my friends, and right now I am out of my chair. You paid for the whole seat, but you only need the front of it, as right now UNLV finds an open hole. Is going to be pushed away there, though, from Boise State University. Ace Pocket has an opportunity here. Off of the crossbar. LC Coro off of the backboard. Is there another member? Boise State is trying to get a second one, is not going to find it. Ace Pocket with an aerial stop there, and it looks like Cosmo Buster has the full boost, so he could find a shot here possibly. Instead, going to fall on back and instead clear this out for Boise State. But it looks like UNLV had an opportunity, was not able to convert, as the shot here is going to be up and around. It looks like Tickle Me Gaming is not able to do much with that, as Ace Pocket is going to carry this up here on the left-hand side. This could be another opportunity for Boise State University. Ace Pocket trying to carry it in. That's wide open. LC Coro not able to. 51 in, turns that away. LC Coro is going to get a demolition there. This gives Boise State just another handful of seconds. A flick over the top. Cosmo Buster gets the demo.
Is that it?
Finish it up. Ace Pocket! Booyakasha, as they say in a place I've never been to before. Boise State finds their second here in the final game of the series. UNLV with their backs up against the wall.
That's a very important insurance goal for Boise State, because when they're playing against UNLV, anything can happen. Any counterattack can happen at any point from one offensive mistake, so that second goal is really important to them.
We have seen this 2-0 lead many times. No lead is safe in this series, no matter which team you are. And right now, Boise State has those 2 goals. They have a pair. They've got a minute 15 to continue on. And right now, just looking absolutely phenomenal. Ace Pocket with a pair, and Morgan going to clear this one out. Ace was looking for the Hattie there, not able to find it though. LC is going to challenge, and it is turned away there, unfortunately, on the right-hand side. UNLV was not able to get that one on net. 60 seconds separates Boise State from the victory and the series, as Cosmo is going to put this here on the right-hand side. Do they go for a third insurance goal, or do they just hold this one off?
They definitely don't want to take too many risks here. It's short time, and they've got a 2-goal lead. They don't have to score another, but if they do end up finding that opening on defense, then they definitely should take advantage.
Cosmo to LC, LC to Ace!
And there it is. Yeah, that UNLV is basically, even if you're not saying it out loud, you're feeling like, oh, it's over. 30 seconds, down by 3. It's so hard to come back. We rarely ever see them come back from this.
You can just feel the energy in the room. The audience is so into it. All 3 of us are leaning as close as we can over the desk.
I have officially hit stand-up mode, and I might have to unbutton my top button because it is getting hot in here, my friends. As the last 30 seconds are here, and this would be a well-deserved victory for Boise State. And again, UNLV really made them work for it. It's Cosmo! He's going to stuff it in one last time. 23 seconds remain. Let's see that one again. Ace off of the right hand of the wall, and Cosmo just gives it the old kiss of the fist, and it walks on and 4-0. That has got to be the death now.
Absolutely. Boise State has built up so much momentum at this point, scoring goals more and more often throughout this match. And that was just like a 30-second period in between goals, and they're just dominating at this point.
Again, we knew that this was something Boise State was capable of. It just took them 7 games to unlock it. In the 5th game, they were able to put up a 5-0 victory, but this time looking at a 4-0 to close out the match. The final seconds count down here as the ball will find its final resting place. Boise State University walks away with the first victory today. Eventually, the ball will hit the ground, and then we can all get excited and clap our hands. But until then, we're just going to look at the beautiful prowess that is Boise State University and this glorious aerial display of skill and precedent. And even UNLV wants to get another goal in. And it looks like Boise State, again, not able to finish, but picks up the victory here. And the crowd absolutely goes nuts.
What an insane series this was. So back and forth, just like Boise State, they have a bad game, and then they have a great game, and then they have a bad game again. It's just so unpredictable. Truly fun to watch as a fan.
That UNLV team has absolutely exploded with skill since last we saw them. Even 2 years ago, again, they had only played for like a month from last I understood. They've had 2 years to get together, and that work has shown dividends here. They absolutely had Boise State up against the wall in more ways than one, and in multiple games, it didn't look like Boise State even knew what to do. So great moves there from UNLV. Very excited for our rivals, as well as, what comes next.
Of all the games that I've been here to host, and I've been here for a lot of games, this has been one of the most exciting, definitely one to relive. And if you do want to relive memories like this or just see great games like this, the best way to do that is to subscribe to Boise State Esports' Twitch channel. You can use an Amazon Prime subscription to get a free Twitch Prime subscription. You can also type an !free sub into the chat to find out how you can follow us and support great games like the ones you just saw. Remember, your subscriptions fund scholarships. That's not all that we have for you tonight. Believe it or not, we have even more. We've got League of Legends and Overwatch coming up next, so you do not want to leave us. We're off to a great start this evening. We're going to come back with more Boise State Esports.
May I